Morgan stabbed poor Peyton 19 times. In 4th grade, Peyton met this girl named Morgan. When the girls were in 6th grade, Morgan kind of brought a new friend into the group. Her name was Anissa. It was around this time that the new friend Anissa was telling Morgan like some creepy stories that she had found and was reading on the internet. And they were stories about a man without a face. So Anissa is telling Morgan all of this, and Morgan is like, what? Oh, she is intrigued. Peyton was said to just not be as interested into this faceless man who steals kids as much as the other 2 girls were. On May 30th, 2014, the 3 girls would celebrate Morgan's 12th birthday. They're at Morgan's house, slumber party, great. The next morning, it's May 31st, and Peyton wakes up, she makes her way downstairs, and that's where she finds the 2 girls like sitting in front of the computer. And then as some time passed, Morgan announced to the group of girls like, hey, we should go to the park. And the other girls were like, yeah, let's go to the park, that'd be fun. So the 3 of the girls are walking to the park, and Anissa suggests that they should play a game of hide and seek. So Morgan goes by like a tree, starts counting 1, 2. And then Anissa goes up to Peyton. She's like, hey, you should like lay on the ground and cover yourself with sticks and leaves and like blend in with the ground, and that could be a great hiding spot. So Peyton was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, I should do that. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pops Morgan. She's like standing over her. She's holding a knife that she had taken from the kitchen. Morgan started stabbing her best friend. Morgan stabbed poor Peyton 19 times. Anissa was right next to Morgan and didn't try to stop it. She was definitely there to help, is what I'm getting at. But once the 2 of them felt that their job was done, Morgan and Anissa, they leave Peyton to die in the woods, and they take off. Now, luckily, unbelievably, miraculously, incredibly, all of the blees, Peyton isn't dead. She's able to come to. She gets up, and then she's using the tree stumps that are around her kind of like as support, because she's stumbling, trying to find her way out of the woods into a grassy area that's kind of near the main road where she was hoping someone would see her. And she's able to make it out there. Like, it's incredible. Not even long after she got out of the woods, this person riding a bicycle came by at that exact moment and saw her, called 911 immediately. She had some pretty deep wounds on her arms and legs, but the biggest issue was that there was 2 stab wounds in her torso area that hit major organs. So one of them caused some serious damage to her liver and stomach. And also, on top of that, there was another stab wound that went straight to Peyton's heart. If the stab wound to her heart had been just like a millimeter over, just a smidge, she would have died. So the day of the crime, police had actually spotted both of the girls walking, and they were like 5 miles away from the park. They were near a local furniture store. So police kind of spot them. It's kind of like a peculiar situation because both of them are covered in blood. For that reason alone, police are like, maybe we should pull over and ask what's going on. So then police ask if there's anything in their pocket, and that's when they find a bloody knife on them. They tell police that they needed to kill their friend Peyton because a man by the name of Slender Man told them to. Now, the Slender Man was created by a guy named Eric Knudsen, and he created an image of this Slender Man for a Photoshop contest, and they're challenging the users to create some kind of paranormal, spooky, creepy image, something that would just give you the creeps, but looks legit. The more that this story is going round and round, the more people are just believing it to be true, which leads us back to Morgan and Anissa, because they came across these Slender Man stories just like many other people out there. And because there was so much information about Slender Man, or stories and whatnot, it was like easy to believe. So when Morgan and Anissa were arrested, they had claimed that they were on their way to join the Slender Man, who was said to be living at his mansion in the National Forest. So that's where they were walking to. And the girls truly believed at this time that if they didn't murder their friend Peyton, the Slender Man was going to come after them and kill their families. So Morgan was charged with attempted first-degree homicide, as she should. She just tried to murder her best friend. Anissa was charged with attempted second-degree homicide. It's probably because Morgan was the one who actually did the stabbing, but she was there. She was like a sidekick, you know? But because of the serious nature of the charges, both of them were going to be tried as adults. Now, again, they were only 12 years old, so this was kind of like a hot debate. So while they waited for their trials, Morgan, while incarcerated, started acting a little odd. Morgan was moved to a mental hospital for a couple of months and was placed under 24-hour observation to determine if she was competent enough to stand trial, you know? So they gave her a psychological evaluation where they concluded that she had early onset schizophrenia. And because it was early onset or whatever, the judge determined that she was still capable of standing trial. About a year and a half after the attack, Morgan was finally moved to a state mental hospital and put on medication to help treat her schizophrenia. In September of 2016, Morgan accepted a plea bargain and agreed to be placed in a mental institution instead of going to a typical prison. So the judge granted this and gave her a 40-year sentence at the institution, which is the maximum allowed. I'm a B. A few weeks earlier, Anissa had also accepted a deal and pleaded guilty. She was facing at least 3 years in a mental hospital, but a way better deal, right? 3 years. So during the hearing, Anissa submitted a letter saying that she was like super sorry, deeply regretful for the agony, pain, and hurt she had caused. And after 3.5 years, Anissa was released after petitioning that she was no longer a threat to anyone else. So that, my friends, is the awful story about two friends attempting to murder their other best friend, all because of this Slender Man situation that turned out to not even be real. Bye!